Zarkov's gonna make people regret life decisions.
This is sort of going to be the tying up loose ends episode, I imagine.
Yeah, there's still quite a lot of things Tyruss wishes to know.
Yes.
There's just one thing Ketho wants to know.
What?
When am I going to get shot with my bolt gun? When is it going to happen? I know it's going to happen. It's just not knowing when.
The anticipation is killing you.
It really is. And I would rather the bolt gun kill me. I mean, I'd rather just kill me and get it.
It's much more quick. Gets it over with.
It is.
When we last left off, you guys were at the smuggler camp out by the caldera. You had a battle with the smugglers there and came out victorious. Tyruss got a bad case of shuriken catapult to the face and lost a fate point.
And a nose. I lost my nose.
Yes, you did. You would have lost a bunch of fellowship had you not burned your fate point then and there. But
if I had not been so good at crafting noses.
Your new nose is 20% more efficient than regular human nose.
I told Davis this in our off time, but he should make a assortment of noses so he can have like a fancy dinner nose, a outdoor nose, a
combat nose with a chainsword on it.
Yeah, Martin, we'll have to talk about this later.
Martin, the Inquisition Nosesmith. All right.
Could you put a gun in there? Like the tip of the nose just like flips open?
Not gonna say it's gonna hurt anyone, but yeah, probably.
Just be really, really careful when you've got a cold. So you spent a quick resting period in your gun cutter overnight. Ophelia and Natalie were overjoyed to see each other again. After all the fighting was over, they embraced for a bit and caught up on what things had happened when the other was away. And you brokered a deal with Shade so that he would be an informant for the Inquisition rather than you putting him to the torch and or bolter.
I can't put him to the bolter because mine's lost.
Well, could be worse. Could be missing a force staff.
It's my own fault. I don't mind missing a force staff. The force staff isn't going to shoot me.
Sure about that?
It'll just flay your soul from your body.
Yeah, that's fine. I just don't want to get shot with my own bolter.
That's just demeaning.
It is. I'm going to get demoted to Inquisitional Janitor for losing my gun and getting shot with it.
To add insult to injury, you're going to have to sweep up the bolt casings from the weapon after it shot you.
In the next adventure, you guys will be having an adventure, and then Eric will cut back to me. And I'll be like, all right, Ned.
Roll a check.
A heretic vomited on the floor. Which mop do you decide to use?
Power mops.
My influence is going to be 0.
Did we ever talk to that heretic?
Not at length, no.
Wait, which heretic? Slade?
Heretic.
The heretic. The tech priest fellow. The one who shot at people when they tried to get into his little workshop.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk to him?
Yeah, I do. Just because I gotta know what he's been doing, especially what this face implement is.
Yes, the one that the lieutenant had.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you want that? All right. So with his
any weapon integration projects he was obviously doing,
yeah, you talk to him about that. He does have a particular interest in fusing xenotechnology to human bodies.
Why do you know?
Which is exactly what happened in the case of the lieutenant. What she's got on her head is a collection of very advanced optics, clearly not of human make. And those just by themselves would count as the best quality eye implant. But in addition to that, they have a microcogitator implanted in there, plus a variety of wires that interlace all throughout the brain of whoever is using it. And it's a very, very invasive procedure to install this stuff. It's specifically a weapon targeting module.
Yeah.
The way the tech priest heretic explains it, it's actually a rudimentary artificial intelligence, which is super heretical.
It's like a target tracker.
Yeah. But it's not just a tracker. It's an artificial intelligence that
Yeah.
handles weapon targeting.
It's a self-aware.
Yes, actually, it is.
Yeah, it's just another machine spirit.
What it does is it partially takes over your brain in combat situations and allows you to
Oh, that sounds
acquire and shoot at targets much faster than one otherwise would be able to. In game terms, what it did is every time the lieutenant made a ranged attack action, then she could choose 2 separate targets and make the attack against both of them at the same time within the same action. So, Martin, what do you want to do with this implant?
Well, I want to keep it for now, obviously, but there's not really a whole lot I can do with it here, at least.
Okay. If you want to surgically extract it from her head, then
I thought I already did that.
it's going to require a test to do it because there's microfilaments going on.
Don't want to break it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to withdraw it intact, and because you're not in an operating theater really right now, if you want to do the operation now, then it would be a Medicaid test at -40.
Jesus, all the modifiers though, which would apply. I mean, of course it's -40, but then does all my kits and everything still count?
Do those, like the first aid kit, does that give you like
Does it say
Medicaid
specifically-
bonuses to first aid specifically, or is it to all
Yeah.
Medicaid?
That's kind of what I meant. Let me check. Actually, I'm near the gear section.
Mm-hmm. Because stuff that has benefits for first aid would not help, but your Medicaid mecadendrite, for example, would help still.
It's not specific. It just says bonus on Medicaid test.
Then that would help.
Yeah.
And plus 60? You have a plus 60 bonus on top of that to your
Total.
Medicaid tests?
Total. Yeah.
Ah!
Um,
You're good
Yeah.
at your job then.
I try. I think I did succeed though.
You pass with just 1 degree of success, but you do pass. You very carefully use the chain scalpel at the end of your Medicaid mecadendrite to carve open the skull and pry the bits of bone away, and then very delicately you part the brain matter and pull each of the filaments out of its resting place in the brain. And by the time you're done, then the lieutenant's brain looks kind of like a gray soup, but you do have the implant fully intact in your hands.
I just put it in my bag without even bothering to clean it off.
Now, you can install just the optics and have it function as a best quality eye implant, just fine. Or you can do the more invasive procedure of installing the AI and brain interface.
Well, no, won't it be super obvious though that it will be
Zarkov.
With some clever part manufacturing, you might be able to build a shell around it that mimics an Imperial eye implant. It will require extra work to disguise it, but it is possible.
Cool. So who wants to go first?
Who wants to get their brain carved open?
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely not something we have to deal with right now.
Yeah.
Let's wait until
that'll be
someone gets.
after the investigation, because the recovery period will be weeks if you decide to get this thing implanted. So, how long do you guys want to rest?
How long does Tyruss need to rest?
Yeah.
Martin, did you give Tyruss any medical attention yet?
Oh yeah. Actually, no, not long term. No.
But yeah, he stabilized me. He stapled me up, and he has his little medical servo skull looking
Yeah.
at my nose right now.
Providing long-term care would require like 24 hours of bed rest, so
Yeah.
you guys would probably do that after the investigation, I'd imagine.
More than likely.
Yeah.
We just won't have Tyruss talk to people because the nose thing.
Well, I asked Martin, is there anything, obviously...
Oh, we have
Invest-
masks.
Oh, yeah. I say to Martin, like, the investigation is more important than my flesh and blood, but is there anything that you can do to hide my nose? And then Martin just points to my mask and oh, right. That.
Yeah.
You have a giant wad of gauze in the middle of your face with tape wrapped around your head.
And then I'm just kind of
Beautiful.
there are plenty of things that are more important than your fleshy bits, human.
Your arm, for example.
So I go and I retrieve the mask, and I just place it over my face, and I'm just going to keep it there until I can get further medical attention.
All right. If you want to just like get enough sleep to be able to like get going again and finish things up, then you could take like a 4-hour rest.
Yeah, I think time is of the essence right now. Because, I mean, who knows what's going on back in the hive? And even though these guys are surrendering, we know that someone else was here not that long ago.
Because of Ketho being broken out of his cell by some kind of psychic force.
Yeah, and Zarkov followed a trail up that path and just disappeared. So,
Yeah.
And even though these guys are surrendering, someone could have voxed someone else and let them know what had happened. Like, we have no idea. So
Possibly the head of the House Oberon.
Exactly. For all we know, all it takes is one guard to have voxed, hey, Inquisition is here, and that's going to screw us over. So I would say, bare minimum that we need. I know our characters have been awake for almost 24 hours, but...
If you do keep going at this point, then you'd have to start making toughness tests to stave off fatigue.
Where's the recap, brother?
The recap.
Does Martin ask that?
Oh, no, because I don't need that.
You still have enough biological bits that you could use recap.
I have a bonus to toughness checks, though, because of the internal reservoir, I think.
Let's take the rest. I think it's the safest thing to do for everybody.
Okay. And you can just sleep in the gun cutter.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Also, someone needs to stay on watch and just stay at those guns, ready to just go nuts if they need to.
We'll take turns. Everyone except for Tyruss. Tyruss should get all the sleep. We'll take watches.
Okay.
Tyruss thanks you for this.
I'll take the first watch.
Yep. All right, so you guys take a brief rest. It's basically uneventful. And then by the time it was getting to like 5 a.m. when you started the rest. And so by about 9 a.m. then you hear the storm actually start to clear up. They raise the shields. They're starting to like break down the buildings and prepare things for transport.
What, you mean just like all the shit that's around in this base?
Yeah. All the buildings can be disassembled by the looks of it. As you awaken from your rest, then Shade approaches you and asks what his men should do for the moment.
It would be great if we could guard them here, but all of us want to go back to the hive to continue the investigation, so I don't know.
We either gotta trust him here or we gotta kill him. That's what we really should do.
Greta Margolin's interrogator, Rexler Salt, is still on a ship in orbit over the planet.
We can hand them over to our ship.
Ketho, you voxed in to him, right? And you told him to blow up the caldera if the ship didn't hear from you?
Yep.
I
I'm
think-
going to call them back.
Yes. So now call. So please don't blow up the caldera.
Hey, no, we're fine. Can we have them come and get Slade and his men?
Yeah. Well, hold on. So I also just want to roleplay the conversation too. When you call up Rexler Salt, you vox him in, and you're actually in the gun cutter right now, and you have a small hollow projector. It displays his face, and you've got the whole party sitting around. Like, yes, what is it? Have you apprehended the heretics?
Sorta.
We have some.
Excellent.
One we've decided it's prudent to be to make an informant of ours. Gentleman named Slade.
Come again?
Gentleman named Slade.
Also, by the way, his name was
Shade.
His code name was Shade.
Shade. Oh, sorry. Whoops.
Yeah, come on, Teen Titans.
I know. That's what it made me think of. It's who's in my head. Whoops.
His mom said his name was really badass.
Shade.
And
Yes.
so correct me if I'm wrong.
I will.
But you say that you just apprehended the man who was responsible for, directly or indirectly, the deaths of 3 of my master's acolytes, and instead of executing him on the spot, you're proposing to let him go free and serve as an informant?
No, he is not the man directly responsible. He's just an agent in all of this. We're still figuring out who's directly
He is the
responsible.
smuggler who is responsible for bringing all this traitorous cargo onto the planet, isn't he?
He does bring cargo.
How is he not directly responsible?
Because he's not the one who captured the other acolytes. They were captured by Eldrick Marin and his buds. And in order to deal with them, they decided to trade him to Shade. Shade is just an outside operative in this. Not only can we use his help now, putting the final pieces of this together, but we can use him further on to catch more of his suppliers.
Also, can I just step in here for 1 second? Also,
Sure, you're all on the connection.
Yeah, interrogator. I understand this is a little unorthodox, but I don't think that his safety really matters. All that really matters is that he has information that we need. As soon as we have it, I don't think that any of us really care about his fate.
That is true.
He's merely a tool that we can use later on.
Very well. I don't like it, but I do see your point. Remember, by making decisions like this, you do tread a dangerous line. Always be sure you stay on the right side of it.
Zarkov opens his book and shows the lieutenant's face and goes, "Well, I did collect one face."
And Rexo Salt smiles. Good.
Zarkov's book now does have 6 faces.
You have a note of all of them? All the
Yes.
faces Zarkov's collected?
All the heretics that have been put to justice in the Emperor's name.
Yes. All right. Facebook is gaining new members every day.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
No, it's on there. That's what it is.
Couldn't resist. So, very well. I'll send an away team down to collect this shade. How many people are we talking about here? How big should this team be to capture them?
Oh, I would say send a good 100.
Oh,
Put some fear into them. They're going to operate for us.
very well.
Rough 'em up.
I'll get a number of ratings to supplement the inquisitorial troops, and we'll round them up.
Don't rough up the Shade too much. We want him to feel like it's his best interest all around to be with us.
What about Eldrick Marin? Should we keep him?
If I'm coming down there, I would like to take Eldrick Marin into custody, and I will not promise I will be quite so gentle with him.
Quick sidebar. Where are we going next? We're just going back to the Hive, but where in the Hive are we going?
I would say back to House Oberon. We suspect this spy master who we've never met, but he seems to be the key to all of this.
Yes.
Spymaster of Oberon?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
He was the guy who had supposedly engineered the whole series of deals with the smugglers. He's the proverbial head of the operation.
Okay. Would I be able to, using Eldrick Marin's clothes, disguise myself as Eldrick Marin with his mask and all?
Do you have a disguise kit or anything? Because you can, and you'd be using deceive rolls to pass yourself off as Eldrick.
If I go with you, I can also use suggestion to tell people, yes, this is Eldrick Marin.
Yeah, we'll go as a party.
Definitely the man you're looking for. Yep. Okay, so you can relieve Eldrick Marin of his clothes. It would be a deceive test based on intelligence to prepare a disguise. I'd give you a penalty because you don't have the proper tools, really, but you do have a disguise that fits. Which
Okay,
is another bonus.
What's the penalty?
I'd give you -20 for not having the proper tools at hand, but also you'll have +10 for the right clothes. So overall,
Okay.
-10.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to try to put this disguise together.
However many degrees of success you'll get will be the threshold for anyone trying to see through your disguise. And then you'll also have to make deceive tests to act appropriately.
1 degree of success.
1 degree of success on it? Okay. Well, you technically passed. So hopefully no one looks too closely.
I think it would be pretty hilarious if you got it bad and you were like rocking around with like magic marker on your face and stuff.
And just like drew like this silly little pencil mustache and magic marker. Because that's what your beard looks like, you dick. Marin. Marin's actually, he's clean shaven normally, but he's starting to look a little bit haggard with some stubble on his face after the night's events.
As I'm changing, I also tell him, by the way, you missed our duel. Putting on his coat.
Our duel? If I had a duel with a lout like you, I'm not sure I would remember it, but I don't think we ever have had a duel. No.
Oh, well, we had one scheduled, but look where your cowardice got you. It's just too bad.
He just looks very confused as you relieve him of his clothes. So you've got your disguise prepared.
Okay. And yes, and I Vox, yes, you can take Eldrick Marin.
Excellent.
Zarkov quizzically looks at Eldrick Marin, wondering if he can remove someone's face without killing him.
Just ask for the face if they happen to take it off.
Please, sir, may I have your face?
Yeah, so what about Ophelia and Natalie? Do they want to stay with us in the gun cutter, but we go back to the Hive?
Yes. Natalie gave her some of the emergency rations that are on the gun cutter, and some colors sort of returned to her face. And she introduces herself formally with a curtsy and says, "Hello, I'm Ophelia Oberon. I'm sure you've heard quite a bit about me throughout this ordeal. Thank you very much for coming and rescuing me from here. I don't know what I was thinking. I ran off myself to try and deal with the situation, to try and rescue the acolytes who had gone missing. I got too enthusiastic with this. I should have listened to Natalie."
So Tyruss steps in and he says, "Your father was concerned that you had betrayed him. Were these thoughts in any way valid, or was this just the results of a paranoid father?"
I can answer that for you. Remember, he's a traitor. Her father is, and she was trying to oust him.
Well, yes, I had every intention to betray my father because he's betrayed the Imperium by allowing the smuggling to continue.
Zarkov chimes in, is like, "Your father may meet a swift end and justice from the Inquisition."
I step in like, wait, why? I don't understand why we're jumping to some very big conclusions here.
No. He was the one who found out about the smuggling, then ended up being like, "Hey, you should cut in on the deal," and was going to be a spy network for them.
More specifically, it wasn't Lord Oberon himself; it was the spy master. So the spy master was doing all of this, but Ophelia is what she's saying is implicating her father as well.
What do you mean implicating?
She says, "Well, I don't have any proof that my father directly ordered this stuff to occur, but he was the one who appointed the spy master in the first place and who sanctions his activities. So anything the spy master does implicitly has the approval of my father."
But in your own words, your father has betrayed the Imperium?
Yes, by letting this to happen. He either knows about this or doesn't. If he knows about this, then he's complicit in traitorous behavior. If he doesn't know about it, he should have kept better track of his servants.
Well, let's go find out. We'll just go pay him a visit.
All right. After some waiting, then a few landers come down. A pair of void-born troop transports and then one larger freighter. They move and land onto the platform, and troops pour out of it. Most of them Navy ratings, just with shipboard combat armor and shotguns. But among them, some inquisitorial stormtroopers in carapace armor with hell guns. And they sweep out and hustle all of the prisoners onto the large cargo lander and start to pack up all equipment.
I want to quickly thank Shade for his overall compliance.
Yes, no, you won't regret sparing my life. I have lots of information that you may find very valuable.
Hey, keep working with us and you'll get to play with all the fun toys too. I motion around to the stormtroopers.
Yes,
right.
My men could use a bit of an equipment upgrade, I'd say. Excellent. Then Shade is hustled off. Eldrick Marin is dragged spitting away by two large inquisitorial guards, and he's the last one hurled into the ship before the door is slammed shut. And then as they start to load in the material, then you guys take off in the gun cutter and head back towards the hive.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got a plan. We're going to go to House Oberon. We're going to walk right in. I'm going to demand a audience with the spy master as Eldrick Marin, who is very pissed off because he was picked up and questioned by Slade, who now is so freaked out he's left the planet. And I'm going to go and try to blame the spy master for everything, and then we'll get in front of him and then reveal, "Oh, I'm not Eldrick Marin." Oh, shock and awe.
Yes, but why would the head of House Oberon allow his bitter rival to see his spy master, who I assume has a secret identity? Like, he wouldn't let anyone have an audience with him.
Well, you don't know that.
Hi, I'm your worst enemy. I need to talk to someone who works for you, who's very secretive.
Yeah, I'm sure that would definitely raise eyebrows at the very least.
Well, then they'll come and we'll get met, especially if we start shouting random accusations up front. Oberon's not going to want to be unmasked. Mm-hmm. So, we'll end up meeting the spy master. I will go and be very livid and angry and be like, "I'm going to say all these secrets out loud if I'm not talking to somebody." we'll end up talking to somebody.
What if they just shoot you though? That's my only concern.
Well then, I'll have the
Your own
knowledge of
bolt
knowing
gun.
where my bolt gun is.
Exactly where the gun is. Perfect.
That's-
I do follow your plan. I'm just saying, like, there is a small chance they could just be like, let's close up loose ends and just bang.
That's fine. But I mean, my disguise isn't so great. And worst comes to worst, I'll take off the mask and reveal, and they'll know, oh, you're not Eldrick Marin, you're just wearing his clothes. And I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it
Kill
out.
them all.
But I mean, it's better than 4 guys who the House Oberon really doesn't know walking in and saying, hey, can we talk to some sort of master of your spy network?
I think you might be able to get that plausible, especially if you go from like maybe like you're an injured angle or something, and like seeking asylum. I mean, we don't know obviously how deep Lord Oberon himself is in the dealings, but we do know for a fact that the spy master did sanction the dealings between House Marin and House Oberon and the smuggling.
Yeah. They won't try to just shoot me because everyone, I'll be Eldrick
That's
Marin.
unlikely.
They're declaring open house war if they shoot me.
I wasn't more thinking that. I was more thinking like, say, like, so if you're inside the house and you're like, you come in as like the Lord Marin, but Lord Oberon actually is loyal to the Imperium and doesn't know about his spy master, there's a chance that he's just like, who the hell is this guy? Figures out it's not you, Lord Marin, and just shoots you. That's all.
Well, maybe I'll buy time because he'll be confused as to why I'm in disguise.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, by then I can maybe get a pot shot at him or something, or release his guards.
Well, you know Lord Oberon, right?
Yeah, he knows me personally. He took my blood.
So that's took my blood. That's weird.
Yeah, he pricked my finger.
Right. So at least we have that to fall back on. Although you should hide your identity too, at least at first. You could borrow my mask.
Yeah, hopefully
then,
I hide from
and then
plain
we just-
sight in general.
And then we just like all reveal masks, and it's like Scooby Doo.
Oh God.
Would have gone
Just
away
as
with it too
expected.
if it wasn't for you, House Oberons. But yeah, I'll come in looking injured because it was very clear I was taken out from the place. So I'll return injured and angry and
If it weren't for you meddling middle-aged men, I would have got away with it too.
belligerent.
One other potential strategy would be if you could get an audience with him with no witnesses, because if there is some sort of secret dealings between them, they won't talk about it openly. I'm not convinced that there is, but if there is, he won't talk about it in the open.
Right. But we'll guarantee an audience if I start making a scene in public as Eldrick Marin, because you can't just shoot a lord of another house.
It's dishonorable.
So at least someone will pull me into a private room in which they plan to shoot me, in which I will reveal, no, I'm not Eldrick Marin, but I know what's going on, and then we'll shoot them, or something.
Or something.
We just need to get in touch with
All
someone who knows the
plans
spy.
end with, and then we shoot them or something.
Yeah, figure it out.
All right.
So, and Eldrick Marin has a posse, so that's everyone else fits in. Let's do it. To House Oberon.
To House Oberon. Okay. So after another... It took you, like an hour and a half to get here in the first place? It takes you something similar to get back. It's actually more just like an hour this time because you're not trying to avoid notice. So you just fly right back to the hive and pull into the House Oberon hangar where you've been berthing your ship this whole time. And then you drive back to House Oberon Villa. And Ophelia and Natalie are with you, by the way.
Okay. Oh, wait, does Ophelia know who the spy master is?
She knows that they have one, but she hasn't met him personally.
Okay.
You stroll in the front gates. Ketho dressed as Eldrick Marin in his party clothes, and everyone else dressed in their party clothes as well, with masks.
Yeah, I would recommend to everyone put on a mask so that you can reveal it dramatically.
Mhm.
But so we all look like Eldrick Marin's posse at first, and then we'll reveal who we are when we need to. Because if she shows up, the spy master might not show if they see Ophelia. But when we get there, I am stumbling as if I have been injured
Okay.
and I am acting as if I've had a really rough night.
As you approach, then the 2 guards at the front gate to the Grand Oberon Villa shift a little bit and raise their las guns just a bit. They say, oh, Prince Marin, what a unusual surprise.
Where is he?
Come again?
Where is he?
Where is who, sir? You're going to have to be more.
You know who I'm talking about.
You get to be nice and belligerent. I love it.
All right, make a intimidate roll.
No. but that's fine. I'm trying to look like I'm beat up. I'm just belligerent.
Okay, so you don't particularly scare them. It's all right. That's very, very nice that you're upset, sir. But whatever. Look, you've clearly had a very.
I interrupt him and I just shout out into the void. I know you're here.
One of the guards sort of
to-
like looks at the rest of you behind.
Put it out all in the open.
The guard sort of like looks behind with like a sort of like a what is he talking about look at the rest of you guys.
Yeah. Just like shrug.
I mean, sir, we'll call your house and they'll send a car over here to pick you up.
No, I am not going anywhere until he shows up. Where is your superior officer?
Our superior officer? Well, he's in the barracks inside. Why would you want to speak to him?
Do you know what they did? I was taken out of the ball last night, beaten up, and you guys are just trying to keep me away because he's too much of a coward.
They say, I'm sorry for your loss, and one of them covers up a small snicker.
That's fine. Well, I will then leave, and I'll go talk to my shady friend.
Their faces are completely blank. They don't know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to just shout out as loud as I can so someone hears me.
You're some distance from the house. It's not likely that anyone's going to hear you.
Okay, I just paused. I forgot my wallet inside. Let me, so I can go find it.
Oh, so that's the reason you're here. Okay, fine. They reach behind and open up the doors, and they allow you in. They're like, all right, well, just tell us where you think it is. We'll just escort you there, and we can take a look. They're just right now, just like trying to move things along. There was actually an after party, like at the villa, where the guests from the masquerade ball went there. You guys didn't go there, but it is conceivable that Eldrick Marin, if he were there, could have left his wallet here. So that's why they're letting you in.
Okay, I'm just lead on. Hopefully he'll show up.
Who is he? Sir, we just don't know what you're talking about. I'll be honest with you.
That's fine.
Plebeians.
And one of them you see just sort of reaching up to his helmet and depresses a little button like, yes, we've got Prince Marin here. Yeah, he's thinks he left his wallet here. He's in quite a state. Just send anyone out here, please. And then gets off the connection. And so they march you up towards the villa.
I'm still shouting angrily along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just being greeted by guards, not anyone else. Not someone who just threw me out, ruined everything.
Gets me down to the floor.
Everything is going to come down because of this. Unless he comes out and speaks to me. I'm not really talking to them directly. I'm just shouting out into the void, keeping up the crazy.
As you near the house, actually Mortimer comes out to greet you guys. You guys are wearing the same clothes you were wearing for the party last night, weren't you?
Except for me.
He's wearing the same clothes.
Mm-hmm. So Mortimer steps out and does like a bit of a double take. It's like Prince Marin, his normally composed self, is flustered for just a moment.
I wheel on him just because he's the first new person there.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, you, where is he?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
Look, Lord Oberon is in a meeting right now that he would actually wish for you to attend, if you would follow me upstairs.
Good boy, Mortimer.
Finally, some sort of service, because I'm angry. This is
bullshit.
inexcusable. I wouldn't use such a word. We will follow Mortimer.
I know.
I'm
Right,
still
and he,
angrily going on and on about, everything's gonna come out. Everything's falling apart. And I'm just gonna tell everything to everybody about everything.
And, he just sort of, he leads you all up, and then as you guys are going up, he turns, he just sort of looks over his shoulder and says, what on earth are you doing dressed up as Eldrick Marin?
Are the other guards around, or is it just him?
No, it's just the group of you plus Mortimer walking through the halls.
I, as a interspersed with, more yelling and belligerentness, I say, yeah, we're looking for the spy master.
Yes. Lord Oberon is in a meeting with him right now, in fact.
Perfect. Hey, would you do us a solid and not reveal that I'm not Eldrick Marin?
Normally, the discretion of clients is of utmost importance, but for such an unusual request, I'd have to ask what in the Emperor's name is going on here. And with that, then Ophelia Oberon takes off the mask that she's been wearing, and Mortimer is just positively shocked and then overcome with joy and rushes forward and embraces her and says, "Oh, Lady Oberon, we've all at the house been so worried about you. It's so great to see all the family back safe again. Yes, I'm sure that Lord Oberon will be most overjoyed."
I step back in, still being belligerent. No, you put that mask back on. Wait. I look at Mortimer. Everything here is being done in the Emperor's name. That's all I'm going to say. So, Nice to meet you, Mortimer. I am Eldrick Marin. Put up my hand.
Make a charm test for me.
I'm going to make a charm test for you.
Well,
I'm going to use a fate point.
Yes.
We might have to let him in on some things.
I'll need more concrete assurances than that. This is a very unusual situation. Why are you wearing Eldrick Marin's clothing? And what happened to Eldrick Marin? And how did you come to find the missing daughter of our house?
I stand up a little straight and I just say, it's a lot of questions. What is this? The Inquisition?
oh God.
And Mortimer, his eyes widen a little bit and he looks around a bit and Ophelia just nods to him and he's like, "Oh, right this way, sirs." And wheels on his foot and walks you right over to the room with the same study where Zarkov met with Lord Oberon sometime previously.
I'm still being belligerent after that. Yeah, that's right. He better show up to this meeting. I'm angry. Everything's going to fall apart. It's all his fault. I'm yelling to the air. I'm Eldrick Marin and I'm mad.
And so you walk down the same plush carpet as earlier. Mortimer raps smartly on the door a couple times, and you hear Oberon's voice saying, "Come in." And he opens the door and gestures you inside.
I angrily just march right in.
Mm-hmm. And so you walk in to the office, and the only two people present are Archibald Oberon, who's seated behind his desk, and standing right in front of him, a man in a long blue coat. Ketho, you see he has your bolt gun laying on the table in front of Archibald Oberon, and none of you recognize him except for Zarkov. This was the guy who you saw meet up with Archibald Oberon in the Arboretum way back at the beginning of your investigation.
Oh, shit! I'm assuming neither of them recognize me.
No, because you're wearing a mask, aren't you?
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
still.
Well, I march in and I just look at the guy who I don't recognize and just assume he's the spy master. And I say, "What the hell are you playing at?"
He just turns to you in a very calm voice, says, "I'm not quite sure what you're playing at, because you clearly aren't Eldrick Marin."
Now you're going to say I'm not Eldrick Marin.
What do you mean?
You turn.
Looks like Eldrick Marin to me. Trust me, this is not Eldrick Marin. And he reaches forward to try and take the mask off of your face.
I batter his hands away angrily, trying to continue my angry rant.
And he takes a step back and puts his hand on the bolt gun that's on the table. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to stop your rambling. Lord Oberon and I are in the middle of a serious conversation about operational security."
I look at Archibald. Are you familiar with our mutual friend, Shade?
Should I be familiar? And then when he says this, then the spy master is like, "Sir, should we really be discussing this with all these hangers-on in attendance here?"
Is there a way I can see if Archibald is just completely confused by that name, or did he recognize it?
Make a scrutiny test.
I need more ranks in this. Come on, scrutinize. Yes!
Scrutinize the hell out of him. He's pretending like he doesn't recognize the name, but he does.
Oh.
And Archibald Oberon sort of raises to his feet and gives a sweeping gesture across the rest of you guys. And says, well, all of you should leave the room now. I want to speak to Marin and my associate alone.
The spymaster said that he wasn't Eldrick Marin.
But Archibald doesn't know.
I could use suggestion on him, maybe.
That's acceptable. I turn and I say, retinue, wait for me right outside.
Mm-hmm.
I will be out post haste.
I can leave, but on my way, I want to cast suggestion on the spymaster.
What do you suggest?
This man is Eldrick Marin.
Mm-hmm. All right. Make a focus power test then. What psi rating are you using?
I'm going to go all the way down to 1.
Okay. All right, that is a failure, I think. Yes, you rolled a 96.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Wait, can't you use a fate point?
You rested for long enough to not get fatigued, but not long enough to restore your fate points.
Hmm.
So are you out of fate then?
Yeah, if I haven't replenished, I spent all 3 of my fate points in that battle, and then burned 1.
All right, so you try and reach out with your psychic powers, but it feels like you're trying to pry open like a smooth metal sphere when you try and assail the guy's mind. So do you all go out into the hallway then?
I reiterate, leave us.
Yeah, and I kind of tried and motioned to him to turn his micro bead on so that we can hear everything, and then I step out.
I'll do that. I'll do it. Like I'm scratching my ear. Come on, get out of here, retinue. We gotta talk.
All right, I leave.
You guys go and talk about whatever you want. You stupid retinue people talk about in the hallway.
Okay, so you all go out into the hallway and close the door. All right, as this happens,
Trying to climb around the window to find a good sniper spot.
are you going to do that?
If I can, yes. I actually do kind of want to be able to get a view to the room and a headshot.
There is a window right next to the entrance.
Can I get a good view of a headshot of the spy master?
Not from where you stand. No.
Can I move the location?
You can change locations. As you're doing that, then back in the room, Archibald sits back down again. And the spymaster says, now, you're going to tell us who you really are and why on earth you've dressed up as Eldrick Marin.
And I just relax and I just stretch and I take off my mask, just casual like.
Mm-hmm.
Eldrick Marin tried to betray us.
Us?
Hi, I'm Rolkine. I'm operative for Shade, counterintelligence.
All right, make a deceive roll at -30.
Oh boy.
Deceive is my thing. Deceive is not my thing. Rolkine. I'm not lying about my name.
Well, they don't buy it. The spymaster says, well, I am quite familiar with all of the agents that Mr. Shade has active in the city, and you, Rolkine, are not one of them.
Fair enough. So let me ask you a question then.
Yes?
Who do you think I am?
I think you're an out-of-towner who's prying into business that has no concern to you.
Well, it's my business now. Do you know where Eldrick Marin is? Because I do.
He just bares his teeth a little bit. Without moving his view from you, he just asks Archibald, should I shoot him? And Archibald nods.
I smile. I'm like, you're making it easy. Go ahead, shoot me, I say loudly.
Boom, boom, boom. All right. You're getting a semi-auto burst
Wait,
at point blank range,
you can't
fully aimed.
You can't get into the room.
Oh God! I just left for a second. What's going on?
You'll be able to get into the room.
Tyruss is rushing at the door. I have no idea if I can get in beforehand, but he's rushing at it with his 4 staff out.
Oh, my line cut up.
All right. So they actually only hit you with 1 bolt.
Guys, I found my bolt gun.
Your wish came true. All right.
Wait, this
You
is his
can-
bolt gun? I thought it was just a bolt pistol.
No, it's Ketho's bolt gun.
I have the bolt pistol.
So you can attempt to dodge if you want, but you get -20 because you're sitting down in a chair.
I'll try to dodge. I'm out of fate points, so please roll 20. No, I grin and take it.
All right.
This is good. This is how I find out how effective my bolt gun is, so I know what my enemies feel like when I shoot them. Should I get my gun back?
I don't
Take
think
a-
that's an effective testing method.
All right, you take 11 damage.
Oh my god.
That's before any reduction from toughness. That was, I think, a hit to your right leg.
Okay. I reduce it by 4.
Mhm.
So I take 7. My current wounds say that I have 9, so I am at 2 wounds. Ouch. Pretty good gun. So can I shoot him with my bolt pistol?
Sure, after everyone rolls initiative.
So what exactly is Zarkov doing since he's trying to like move to a different location?
This discussion happened before Zarkov could really get to another location. Because it was a very short time before Ketho got shot. So you don't have to particularly move anywhere. All right, so everyone can roll initiative.
I already did. I got a 12. Ketho, don't die. You're my only friend.
Ketho, unfortunately, has the lowest initiative of anyone in the combat, so he may be in a bad spot. However, Zarkov has the highest initiative of anyone in the combat. So,
Gotta save my friend.
you hear your friend being shot at point blank with a bolt gun.
What do you do?
2 of the rounds you hear impact the floor or the wall. It actually sounds like they're hitting books, but the other one definitely hits flesh.
Well, I charge into the room.
All right, make a strength check to bash through the door. You definitely do that.
I get in there.
Make the
All right, with
noise, right?
natural 1, you run forward and just like they taught you in Arbides training, you breach the door with a well-placed kick right above the lock, and the door splinters perfectly and swings inward, and you go right on in. So I'll actually give you +10 to whatever attack roll you make now because of the expert breaching.
Just bam.
I guess as I was kicking down the door, since I didn't know what I was gonna have to deal with, I had a chainsword in one hand and an auto pistol in another. So I'll make a shot with the auto pistol.
Okay, at who? The Spymaster is holding a bolt gun that is smoking.
The spy master, then definitely.
Okay. All right, make your attack roll. You're at short range right now, not point blank.
Oh, jeez! Wow.
All right. You kick the door down, run in, and fire the auto pistol, but the spray of bullets goes wide and mostly just shatters the glass behind your target. And he
Well, that was
flinches
pointless.
a little bit down from the attack. Next up is Ophelia. She just sort of like yells and flattens up against the wall. She turns to Mortimer and says, "Tell the guards to stand down. That's an order from Ophelia Oberon." So Mortimer just gulps and nods and sprints off and starts yelling at the guards to stand down. You hear the sound of heavy footfalls had started coming up the stairs when they heard gunshots.
Yeah, I wonder why. It's not like a normal reaction.
Martin, your turn. The door is swinging open on its hinges.
We don't want either of these idiots dead, though, do we? So, what, you tried to shoot the spy master. If I try to go after him with a chainsword, I'm just going to kill him, probably. Actually, how close am I?
6 meters away.
Flame versus shocking quality. What do you think we should use?
If you're trying to not kill them, then shocking is better.
Okay, I'm going to smack him with a aluminum blast then.
Bzz. Deploy the hand taser.
Yeah. So I can aim that single shot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got
Yeah, got him. All right, he's
and that's,
going
one
to
D10.
attempt to dodge. Hold
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Nope. Roll your damage.
It's 11 damage.
Bzz. Ah! All right, and he's also got to make a toughness test. So you run into the room, your robes flapping a bit as you raise your hands, and the little luminin coils on your hands glow very brightly and expel a blast of electricity, which catches the Spymaster directly in the chest.
Wasn't expecting that, were you?
Nah, I got hand tases, son. All right, he fails his toughness test, so he's stunned for 3 rounds. He just sort of stumbles backward and slumps against the desk, one hand clutching his head. So he's going to be out of it for 3 rounds.
Sweet. Just what we wanted.
Yeah.
Since we have the other guy stunned, like, I think bringing Ophelia in here would probably instantly subdue him. Because John can just go up there and probably grapple that guy or whatever he has to do. And,
Chainsword him to death?
No, John. I know that's option number 2, but it's not always option number 1. Remember what I taught you. Chainsword is option number 2.
Natalie rushes in alongside you as well and pulls her stub automatic out and just points it at them and says, "Stand down, all of you." Just points it at Archibald and the Spymaster.
I guess I would try to apprehend the Spymaster's guy while he's still stunned.
Okay. Make a strength check. He grabs hold of the Spymaster. He sort of tries to stumble away and pull away, but you've got a hold on him.
Can I get help from John, I'm assuming?
Sure. Speaking of, Zarkov, it's your turn. Archibald is sort of taking cover behind the desk with his pistol out.
I'm going to try to help subdue the Spymaster.
All right. So you run over and grab the guy along with Ketho. Make me a strength test. All right. He actually rolled really well. You try to put him into a lock, but he's just sort of thrashes around and keeps himself upright. But both of you are holding on to him right now. At this point, Ophelia runs into the room. Just says, like, "All of you just stop for just one moment." When this happens, Archibald just sort of stands up a bit and lets the pistol fall down to his side. He says, "Ophelia? My daughter? When did you get back?" And suddenly everything goes silent. At this point, it's relatively easy for Zarkov and Ketho together to slam the Spymaster down on the table. And I presume you take your manacles out and handcuff the Spymaster.
You always have manacles, John.
Yeah. I mean, he does. He literally got manacles from his Arbides background.
Yeah.
So, are you going to handcuff the guy?
Yeah.
All right. Ketho, you have your bolt gun back, -3 bullets.
That's fine. I am pointing it at the Spymaster's head if I am capable.
Mm-hmm.
As I staple. It's a free action. I love it.
At this point, you hear so from the hallways are like, "No, please stop. Hold on a moment." And then like just a bunch of like bumping noises. The person saying that was Mortimer. And then a bunch of House Oberon troops with their rifles out pour into the room with weapons raised.
Zarkov puts away his weapons.
Mm-hmm. The sergeant at the head of them just yells like, "What's going on here? We heard gunfire." Lord Oberon's like, he and Ophelia start talking at exactly the same time, basically just shouting, saying completely contradictory things, and neither one of them can be understood over the other one.
This is fun.
So the troops just sort of like look back and forth at them, unsure of what to do.
I'm recording this as a case study on human behavior.
Conflict Resolution, or the Lack Thereof, Volume 1, by Martin.
For the archives.
I just like to shout out at the guards. Just lower your weapons and wait. No one else is going to get shot until we've talked through this.
And then one of the guys in the back's like, "But are people going to get shot after that?"
Maybe, but you have more guns than we do.
Okay.
Still kill all of you.
Sure.
Don't
And
want
the
to say that
sergeant
out loud.
looks into the back like, "Quiet, Rufus." Okay. All right, so
We talked about this.
with that, the Spymaster's apprehended. What do you want to do with Lord Oberon?
They're just shouting at each other, aren't they?
Yes, but you can interject to ask questions or clarify the situation. Lord Oberon is saying, like, these people just barged into here with no respect for anything and pulled weapons on us and blah, blah, blah. And then Ophelia is like, these people were standing in here and they pulled weapons on us with no provocation whatsoever, and they just start
I
yelling
look at
over
the
each
Shot you
other.
without provocation.
I look at the sergeant and I say, "They shot me," and I point to the wounds in my
There's
chest.
2 gaping holes in your body.
And we're going to sit down. I'm saying this, waving my bolt gun around. We're going to sit down, and this will get explained. And I'm just, like, slowly pointing the bolt gun at Sir Oberon.
With your rightful weapon restored once more.
I am angry that I got shot with my own gun.
Yeah, and Ophelia's like, she turns to the troops and says, "This is now Inquisition business. We are reviewing Lord Oberon to see if he is fit to continue leadership of this house." And a murmur goes through the whole body of the troops.
And at this point, I say, "Yeah, so everyone come in, close the doors, and take a seat."
So the dozen or so troopers all sort of shuffle into the room and squeeze together around the walls.
Like the lights dim and then a screen comes out of the ceiling, right?
Yep.
No, it's like,
Your time.
everyone gather around.
Today in class, we're going to be showing a movie. Movie day.
Heresy.
Yeah. All right. So, what are your questions for Lord Oberon, Ketho?
I tell him to sit down first. I say, I highly recommend you sit at this point.
He sits.
Oh, man. I just sort of look at my wounds and I say, "Anyone have any questions to start this off?"
Everything is quiet except for the slight whistling and the breeze through the broken glass.
I thank Martin for keeping me alive.
Yeah, it's what I'm here for.
Is the bird chirps like coming through someone's?
That's me. My window's open.
That's very good ambient sound. Keep it on.
It might be me too, actually.
Yeah, the bird noises are actually probably exactly what you hear through the window. So keep it on.
I say, "Well, I think this is a good time for a story. Tell me everything you know about this man's," I point at the spy master with my gun, "this man's operations. And you're going to want to tell me the truth. Everything up front. Because this is the nicest way you'll be asked these questions today. You don't want to get asked these questions again. Do you see what I'm saying?" I'm still acting belligerent and wildly waving around this bolt gun as I say these things.
Inquisition, huh? Well, he just puts his dueling pistol on the table in front of him and just sort of holds his head in his hands for just a moment and then puts them down and sits back up. "Well, frankly, I don't know much about the operation. As my spy master, I gave this man full authority to act in whatever method he thought would bring the most benefit to the house. And so he had updated me on that they were like holding auctions for some Xenos relics. I wasn't quite sure the details, but he looks a lot more subdued than you've ever seen him before. It seemed like a great idea for getting some extra cash flow into the house. To be frank, I don't see anything wrong with it. It kept all the nobles busy chasing their little trinkets, and the world's productions continued to increase every year, which among the Imperium is actually quite a feat. And I wasn't personally involved running any of it. This was a spy master's project for the most part. Him and Eldrick Marin were mostly the ones running the show. I was just a beneficiary, and I authorized it.
You can socially engineer this kind of production. Oh, you want people chasing out trinkets. Come up with a fad.
Nothing excites the nobility more than forbidden delights.
Great, then lie about it. Why use it? That's enough from you.
I want to ask him about the money that was disappearing.
The spy master pipes up like, "Well, I did that. I was withdrawing the funds from Matthias's accounts to pay for extra shipments to get the ball rolling in the first place." And then Archibald sort of looks in surprise at the spy master, clearly not having known about this part.
Is the spy master in manacles? Is he sitting in a chair?
Do you let him sit in a chair?
Yeah, I like to sit him in a chair, and I'll sit opposite him with my gun pointed at him. I'm like, all right. Now, I'm a little bit of operate a little differently than some of my other agents. And honestly speaking, I say, trying to look exasperated from being shot multiple times, you're actually not the fish I'm after. I'm a lot more interested in other suppliers, and I'm sure you set up more than one contact with that Shade character. So the more you tell me,
I mean, Shade
more
was
we
our
would be able to-
supplier.
you didn't have any other suppliers.
No.
You're telling me that when I'm offering you a chance for some sort of...
You can make a scrutiny test if you'd like.
Oh no, no, I'm not in person. This is Ned speaking.
Mhm.
I'm not really looking for more information. I want him to think that I'm looking for more information. It's just like, for a spy master, you're not very quick. There's an offer that could be on the table. The more you tell me everything about how this happened, so that we can stop these things from happening in other worlds in the future. Do you see what I'm getting at, spy master?
I'm not entirely sure I do.
Look, the more you talk, the less you're going to die. To a point where you don't. We always have use for agents.
As you say this, then you see Natalie Corvus clench her fists until her knuckles turn white.
Can I look at her and just give her a come on? Like, just chill. Or can I shoot her a wink?
Wink, wink. Not say no more.
Can I shoot the group a collective wink that isn't seen by the spy master?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. Hey, wink. I'm not offering him anything. Don't worry. So, just tell us about how this all went down. How'd this work? What did you do? How'd you find Shade?
Well, he was contacted in the first place by Eldrick Marin to help supply his dusk leaf extract addiction, and then expanded into supplying more exotic goods to different nobles here. This is the spy master talking now. And so at one point, my agents caught some of these shipments going in, and I thought this was a excellent opportunity to potentially enrich House Oberon further. So we got a cut of the proceeds and the operation secret. Got rid of people who pried into it too much.
Including other acolytes?
Yes, there was another group of Inquisition acolytes who had poked around previously.
And you didn't think, after capturing Inquisition, you didn't think to shut down the operation?
Didn't think the Inquisition would come again.
It wasn't my call on whether to shut the operation down.
Whose call was that?
That would have been Shade's.
Hmm.
We felt like we had dealt with the problem satisfactorily.
I'm a little worried about these guards. I mean, they're loyal to Archibald. I mean, how sure are we that they're not just going to shoot us?
Well, I think it's Ophelia has them by the reins now, because he's
and
quote unquote arrested before, figuring out whether he can still be a Primarch or not, or whatever.
They seem to be following Ophelia's orders now.
And they're scared because we're Inquisition. And I'm going to scare them even more. I look around and I say, all right, does anyone have any questions for the spy master? Anybody? Anybody? I look at Rufus. Anybody?
No.
Spy master, is there anything you'd like to add before I send this report up and find out where we should station you? The more you tell me, the better.
Right.
Well, I was never meaning to betray the Imperium. I did everything to ensure the prosperity of House Oberon, and by extension, make sure the Imperium was amply supplied with all the plasma we produce here on Acheron.
I have some bad news for you, Spy Master. I shoot him with my bolt gun.
Oh my god.
Bang! Summarily executed. Everyone in the room flinches a little bit.
Even Zarkov with his jaded flinches.
Mm-hmm.
I look around and I was going to say, and that is why we do not mess with heresy, even if we think it benefits some sort of greater good. It's not your decision to make. I point at Rufus, the poor guard.
Rufus just gulps and nods furiously.
I look at Ophelia, and I motion to Archibald. I mean, and I glance around as I say this to my allies to see if they agree. Based on what he said, he's still complicit. So it depends on, we just have to decide who gets him and how bad it's going to hurt. Do we agree? I look at the other acolytes.
So we're leaving this in the hands of Ophelia?
Well, do we want to? I'm saying this out in the open, so Ophelia has a chance to say something.
Or either that or Natalie.
Natalie, by the way, looks extremely satisfied that the guy was executed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can trust Ophelia and Natalie about what they want to do, because we don't know that much about the power of this house. Like, we could kill him, but that might wind up causing lots of other problems. So I think they probably are more knowledgeable about this.
I want to know what's going to happen, but right now we just have to decide who is the person who should make this decision. We'll still know the decision beforehand. I asked Ophelia, what do you think we should do to your father here? He should suffer the same fate as I gesture to the body.
I think a long stay in the House Oberon dungeons is good enough.
How about the Corvus dungeons?
Natalie shrugs a bit and says, well, he wasn't really involved with House Corvus matters. I don't believe it would be appropriate to have him housed in our dungeons.
Well, not to disparage any part of Ophelia, but it might make us feel better knowing that he's in the hands of a third party.
I see your point. And,
I mean, at least while Ophelia does a clean sweep.
All right, Ophelia consents to that as well. So he's going to be transported to Ravenhold to be in their dungeons for a while.
Yeah, for a very long time.
Probably forever.
Hopefully. How about until we send word?
Until you send word.
Yeah, we'll tell you what the sentence will be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better than death.
That is true. Okay, so you decide to do that.
I look at the guards. What have we learned today?
Heresy is bad, they all say in unison. They look kind of like first graders who've all been scolded. With that, I'd say it's about time to end things for the day. Next time we meet, we'll have a debriefing. So many things to discuss.
So many psychers.
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming on out.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes. The enemies of the Imperium have been vanquished once again.
For now.
And this investigation actually went very smoothly for the most part.
For the most part.
It could have been worse.
It probably didn't feel like it, but there are so many things that could have gone wrong that didn't. So.
Only some of the things.
Yeah.
I could have been made much, much earlier.
Yes. Well, thanks for coming out today, everybody, and I'll see you later.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Take it easy.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us online at itsprobablyheresy.wordpress.com. And if you see anything heretical, you can contact the Acolytes at itsprobablyheresy@gmail.com.
Plebeians.